You need to know how to use the blade tool. No, not this blade, but the blade tool in DaVinci Resolve is actually one of the slowest ways to cut clips. Let me show you how and when to cut clips from beginner to pro.
The beginning level 1 of cutting would be to select the blade tool here, make cuts at the start and end of the usable footage, return to the selection tool here, select the unwanted parts, delete them, and move the following clips forward. That is a lot of clicks and effort. Let's undo that and speed this up. For intermediate level 2, we will use some keyboard shortcuts. We can move our playhead to the first cut point and hit shift and open square brackets, and at the end point, shift and close square brackets. These shortcuts skip the blade tool entirely, but we still have to manually close our timeline gaps, which is very inefficient if we have many clips on the timeline. Advanced level 3 will avoid creating gaps in our timeline. We can use this tool, Trim Edit Mode, or press shortcut T. Now we can grab the clip boundaries. We can see our cursor change to this. Click and push to the right to shorten the clip. No gaps. It works even better if we first move our playhead to our desired cut point, and the trim will snap to that point more precisely. However, Trim Edit Mode has different timeline controls I don't normally like to edit in, like slipping the clip, and we have to return to selection mode to move clips. So, Pro Level 4 is going to allow us to trim clips while in selection mode using the keyboard shortcut Start or End to playhead. I move my playhead to the cut point and hit Shift, Command, open square brackets, and it cuts the clip and closes the gap in one action. At the end of the clip, Shift, Command, close square brackets for End to playhead. Keyboard mastery and custom shortcuts are one of the best ways to speed up your workflow. If you simplify keyboard shortcuts and keep them on the left side of your keyboard, your hands can work independently in the edit. Your left for the keyboard and right for mouse control. For example, for End to playhead, instead of Shift, Command, open square brackets, I use letter W. I also set shortcuts for splitting clips and for ripple delete. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see a video about my custom keyboard shortcuts.
How to cut your clips efficiently is the technical side of editing, but when or why to make your cut is the creative part. Let's take a look at a few examples to explain.
Let's look at a talking head or interview style clip. This is an intro from my last tutorial. The audio waveform here is your best friend, since it's a visual way to see dead space without speaking. I check the audio waveform for when I start speaking, start to playhead command just before, then cut just before dead space when I finish speaking. Now we've just got a clean, usable clip.
How to add text, how to customize text, and how to animate that.
Now for vlog clips. This one is from a recent trip to Madeira, Portugal. I know I did multiple takes for this shot, so I'm only going to rough cut and identify separate takes first, and make the cut here. Now for the first take, the subject leaves the frame completely here, so end of clip. I make another cut and delete the end part. For the second take, I'm going to cut the end off again, then find the start. I was resetting the camera and the shot starts here. I'll cut the start off. Now I'll preview the two takes. And I think number 1 is better. I'll delete number 2. So here's my best take. I'll even end this a bit earlier too. Done. A nice B-roll clip ready for the vlog. Now for some drone footage. Drone clips have no audio waveform at all, but they are quite easy to do. We want constant motion in a shot that doesn't reveal our control of the drone. If I preview this shot, I got the drone in the start position, I started recording, flew the drone backwards with gimbal tilt up, then stopped the camera movement and stopped recording. Right at the end, you see I stopped tilting up, so I cut here. At the beginning, I'm flying it backwards, but only start the gimbal tilt later. I'll find a moment with smooth camera movements and cut the start to here. This method is what I call trim the fat. Cut the start before smooth movement, and end the clip before the movement stops. This method also applies well for clips where the camera was shaky before setup. There's a good main shot, you finish the shot, and only then stop recording. Here I put the camera down, so I'll scrub backwards till the frames are still and steady, then I'll cut. And at the start, cut where the camera has stabilized. This clip still needs some work, but now we have the best parts of that clip. So now let's use what we've learned so far to edit a short vlog sequence, using shortcuts to speed it up. I've got 5 clips in this sequence to show a little story about our hiking adventure in Madeira. For the first shot, trim the fat for a shaky start and end. Shot 2, cut the end where I finished the shot. I'm going to cut the start before she starts walking for the shot. Shot 3, we looked at earlier. I'm choosing the first take. Before she puts her foot down, I'll cut here, and cut after she leaves the shot. Delete the second take. Shot 4. For this walking shot, I just want a few steps. I'll cut as I'm about to put my foot down. A few steps again. Cut where I've taken a step. Shot 5, same as before, trim the fat. Now I can look at the sequence as a whole. I want it to move a bit quicker. Trim the start. I also notice right here my camera strap is in frame, so I want to cut before we see it. I'll make this a bit shorter. This looks okay. I'm going to cut out one footstep here. Trim a little at the end too. After a few more touch-ups, let's take a look at the whole sequence.
With these new techniques and shortcuts, you can speed up your cutting workflow and get edits done fast. This video will show you how to add and animate your text, and this beginner playlist will get you started with Davinci Resolve. Consider liking this video if you found it helpful, and subscribing to the channel to level up your video editing. I'm Lewis from Studio Solus. Keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.